All right, so here is the do now. The question is, what will someone who is resilient do to succeed? And you're going to use this sentence frame and you're going to fill in the word resilient. Someone who is resilient will blank in order to succeed. And remember, resilient is an adjective, so it describes a noun. And it means able to keep trying again after failing. All right, so an example would be someone who is resilient will, and then you're going to fill in the other blank in order to succeed. Does that make sense? Does that question make sense? No, Quavion? Okay. So someone who is resilient is going to be able, they're going to keep trying, right? So someone who is resilient will, what are they going to do to succeed? Are they going to keep trying again? Are they going to try a different strategy? Are they going to ask for help? So what someone who is resilient, what will they do to succeed? Good. Aileen, can you read yours out loud? Let's share that one. That was a good one.
Someone who is resilient will never give up to succeed.
Yes, they will never give up. Someone who is resilient will ask for help to succeed. Okay? Quavion, do you get Aileen's example? Carlos, do you get Aileen's example? That one's a really good one. All right. So we're going to move on to the agenda. You guys have already completed the do now. We have a main idea and details mini lesson that I'm going to go over. We're going to finish lesson 1.3. And then if we guys have time, whatever time you guys have left, you'll be working on the student application. Okay. Now on Wednesday, you guys will be doing independent reading in class. And I know I said last week that Friday will be our reading quiz, but I won't assign a reading quiz on Friday, but you guys will have to do a quick write activity. So that is going to be, that's going to take place of the quiz grade because I won't be here. So I won't assign a quiz, but I will assign a quick write. So you're basically going to answer a question based off your book. And I'll show you guys on Wednesday how to get to the quick writes. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and move on to our main idea and details mini lesson. You guys took the pretest last week on Kahoot. And that was just to show me and to show yourself what you already know about main idea and details. Okay, so, all right, so the main idea is the most important part of the text. Sometimes you may hear they may say central idea or main purpose, but those are all basically asking you to look for what is the most important part of the text. Okay, that is the main idea. Now, the main idea, you can also think about it is the main idea is what the author wants you to understand the most. So out of the whole passage or the whole text, what does the author want you to understand? What does the author want you to get out of this text? Okay, that is the main idea. Now, when you're looking for the main idea, there's some things that you need to look specifically for. And they'll help you understand or they'll help you identify what the main idea really is. Okay, so look at the titles and the headings. A lot of the times, if you just read the title, you will know what the text is about. The title, the headings, all of those are text features, and text features and titles, they all give us more information about the text. Okay. So always look at the titles, always look at the headings. When you're reading things, don't skip over the title, okay? Don't skip over the introduction. All of that is gonna build up to help you find the main idea, okay? Something else you also need to look at are the pictures. Pictures or images are also a part of that text feature. So any text feature will give you more information about the lesson. Okay, so look at titles, look at headings, look at the pictures. Also, sometimes the main idea is stated in the first or last sentence in the first paragraph. Okay, that first introduction or that introduction paragraph, it's going to outline what your text is going to be about. So 9 times out of 10 it's going to have what the most important idea is or what the author wants you to understand the most. You taking notes, Aileen? Okay. So I'll pause there for a second. Okay. These clues are, you will hear me say these clues over and over and over because it really helps when you're trying to find the most important idea of the text. Okay. So look at titles, headings, look at the pictures. Always look at the first paragraph. Okay. Look at that first sentence of the paragraph. Now, sometimes it's not going to be the very first paragraph. So you have to read Quavion, you have to read the whole paragraph and just look for some of those clues, okay? Because sometimes it's not going to be the first sentence. Sometimes it might not be the last sentence of that paragraph, but that is where you should start looking, okay? The next clue is look for clue words that are used repeatedly, okay? That is also a sign that that word or that phrase is a part of the main idea. Quavion, I need whatever you are focused on, I need you to make sure that you're focused on this lesson, okay? Because we're going to have some practice identifying the main idea, and I want you to be able to do it, okay? And then the last clue is you're going to ask yourself, what is this story telling me? What does the author want me to understand? Okay? What is the most important part of the text? You literally have to ask yourself that, and it's okay, you know, to ask yourself that. That's going to help you work through finding and identifying the main idea. Okay, so Quavion, what is the main idea of a text? We just discussed it. What is the main idea of a text?
Like what the story is telling you.
What the story is, what is the most important part? Remember, stories are going to have details that, oh, we can go without that detail, but what does the author really want me to understand? Okay, that's what we need to focus on. Aileen, give me one clue on how to identify the main idea.
Look at the pictures.
Look at the pictures. Carlos, give me another clue. How do we identify main idea?
Like read the captions.
Yep, read the titles, the captions, the headings, look at pictures. Quavion, give me one more clue. How do I identify main idea? What's another clue? Where should I look to find the main idea?
In the text.
Yeah, in the text, but where? At the beginning, middle, or end? Where should I look to find the most important part of the text? Look at the power. You said where?
The beginning.
Yeah. So it says sometimes the main idea is stated in the first or last sentence in the first paragraph. So always look at the beginning, okay? So that's the main idea. Let's move on to details, okay? The details support the main idea. So if I'm reading a basketball art or article about the basketball game, the main idea is who won the game, right? Trying to think of a baseball team. Let's talk about football. I know a little bit more about football. So if my article, Quavion, is about who won the football game last night, the Seahawks or the Patriots, that's the main idea is who won the game. Now, details to help support who won the main idea or who won the game will be who scored a touchdown, how many yards did this person run, you know? So those will be the details. So the details help support the main idea. Now, the supporting details tell us how, what, when, where, why, how much, and how many. So after you have found the main idea, the Seahawks won the game last night. How did they win? What did they win? Where did they play? When was the game? How many minutes was left on the clock? Okay. Those are the details that help support how they won the game. Does that make sense, Carlos? Quavion, Aileen, does that make sense? Those details are going to tell us more information. They're going to give us more detail. Okay? They support the main idea. All right, Quavion, tell me, the supporting details, tell me one thing that the supporting details tell us.
How much or how many?
Good. Aileen, what else do the supporting details tell us?
How?
How? Carlos?
The details can tell us what the main idea is.
Well, not what. It's going to tell us more about what it is. So yeah, kind of. So it tells us what. It tells us how much or how many, like Quavion said. It tells us how, when, where, and why. Okay? So far, so good? All right, so we're going to go ahead and get into our, back to our lesson 1.3, just to go over some goals for Bright Ideas, which is the name of it. The literacy goal is to use evidence from a text to find the main idea and details, which we just kind of had a mini lesson over. So we're going to get some practice. And then our foundations goal is to blend sounds and printed words. I don't know if we'll get to the activity. We're really going to focus on using evidence to find the main idea and detail. Okay. So now I want you guys to pull up your Google Slides and put your thumb up when you have them ready. All right, we're gonna go over those two words that we looked at last week. Remember to repeat after me. I'll read the word, the part of speech, and the definition, just to do a quick review. So the first word is failure. Failure. Remember to repeat after me, please. Failure. It is a noun, and it means something that does not work or is not a success. Example. How can you make sure your next school project is not a failure? I can make sure my next school project is not a failure by preparing in advance. Okay, the next word, remember to repeat after me, resilient. Resilient. And this is the word that we had on our do now. It's an adjective and it means able to keep trying again after failing. When have you needed to be resilient? I needed to be resilient when I was learning how to skateboard. All right, so what we're gonna do today is we'll learn how to identify details that support the main ideas in an informational text. So I remember, if you remember last week, I said that this is an informational text. That means we're gonna get information from it, okay? So in the anchor video, we saw that Richard Terreri used flashing light bulbs to protect his village from lions. You guys remember seeing that on the anchor video? Okay. Today we'll learn about two inventions or inventors who over 100 years ago invented the light bulb and helped make Richard's invention possible. So in order for Richard to help out his village, he used an invention that we're going to learn about, two inventors today. All right. So let's think about the question. Why is the light bulb an important invention? Really quickly think about that. If you're sitting in a room with the light on, why would that be an important invention? The light bulb. Really quickly, you can either respond over the mic or in the chat. Aileen?
Yes, because then if it was dark, you will not probably be able to see.
Okay. Before electricity, do you guys know what did they use? Before we had the light bulb. Quavion?
They open windows.
They daylight. But what did they use when it was nighttime? Do you know? If you don't know, we'll probably learn it in this.
Candles.
Candles. lanterns, all of that, okay? So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna read through this. It is your job, it is your task to make sure that you are reading along with me. I'm gonna read aloud. You guys can either read aloud too, but you're gonna be on mute, so I won't hear you, or just, if you don't wanna read aloud, just follow along with me, okay? So I'm gonna have my cursor here. Can you guys see my cursor? So I want you to look at my screen. So I know I had you guys pull up the Google Slides. I want, for right now, as we're reading this, I want you to pay attention to mine since I have it shared, okay? So we're gonna be looking at my Google Slides page, and you're gonna follow along with me as I read through this, okay? When we are finished reading, we're gonna focus on a key idea question that's gonna help us identify the main idea, okay? Does everybody understand what their task is? Quavion, can you sit up, please? Thank you. All right, I'm gonna pause after the second paragraph just to make sure that you guys are still following along with me, okay? All right, so like I said, always, always, always read the title. Always read the subheadings. That is going to help you find the main idea. All right, let me move this out the way. All right, Bright Ideas by Tara Grassini. Did you turn on a light today? If so, you can thank Thomas Edison. Edison was a great American inventor. He lived from 1847 to 1931. He made over 1,000 inventions. One of his most important inventions was the electric light bulb. In the 1800s, most lights used gas or oil. They were dirty and dangerous. Edison wanted to make a cleaner and safer light. He thought, why not use electricity? Other inventors had tried making electric lights, but they only lit up for a few minutes. They also cost a lot. So in 1878, Edison set out to create a new light. This light would be cheap and last a long time. So I'm going to pause there. Who can tell me one thing that they remember from these first two passages? What's something that stuck out to you, or something that you remember just from me reading that? Aileen?
People tried to invent a light using electricity, but it only lasted for a few minutes and costed a lot of money.
Good. What did most lights use before electricity? Carlos? What did most lights use before gas? Oh. What did most lights use before electricity? Look in paragraph 2, Carlos. Are you tired?
Oil or gas.
Yes, I kind of told you the answer too. Good. I'm gonna keep writing. I'm gonna keep reading, okay? Quavion, you still with us? All right. Paragraph 3. Edison's first bulb was a failure. The second bulb did not work either. Neither did the 6,000th. But Edison was resilient. These attempts taught me something I didn't know, he said. Finally, in 1879, he did it. Edison made a better bulb. It stayed lit for 13.5 hours. The whole lamp only cost 25 cents. It was one of his best inventions. Okay, I'm going to go to the next page. Oh, there it is. Paragraph 5. You guys ready? You might think Edison's bulb was perfect after 6,000 tries. Inventor Louis Latimer didn't think so. He worked for a different company than Edison. He thought he could make a bulb that stayed lit longer. Latimer tried to improve the wire inside the bulb. In 1881, he came up with a new design. The new wire did not burn as fast. The light bulb stayed lit for months. It was a huge success. Latimer helped put electric lights in many cities. In 1884, he started working for Edison's company. Where would we be without Edison and Latimer? Maybe in the dark. Their bright ideas changed the world. So here's a picture or an image of Lewis Latimer. He improved the light bulb's design. And if we go back, here's a picture of Thomas Edison. He invented the light bulb. Okay, so those are two inventors who helped create a light bulb that lasts long. So our key idea, which is right here in our closed reading activity. Aileen, can you read the question under key idea, please?
How did Latimer improve the light bulb that Edison created?
Okay, so this was in the second part that we just read. So we're going to look in paragraphs 5 through 7, and we're going to look for how did Latimer improve the light bulb that Edison created? Latimer improved the light bulb that Edison created by. So I want you guys to answer this question on your Google document, okay? So you might have to close out of mine really quick to pull yours up. But do you guys have a text box on there? Okay, good. So go ahead and fill that in. Latimer improved the light bulb that Edison created by, and remember we're looking for evidence, so you're not gonna guess. Go ahead and look back in the passage. How did Latimer improve the light bulb that Edison created? All right, so Aileen said paragraph 6, so I'm gonna reread that one. Latimer tried to improve the wire inside the bulb. In 1881, he came up with a new design. The new wire did not burn as fast. The light bulb stayed lit for months. It was a huge success. Latimer helped put electric lights in many cities. In 1884, he started working for Edison's company. So what in paragraph 6 is gonna help us answer this question? How did he improve it? Latimer improved the light bulb that Edison created by designing a light bulb to what? What do you think? Carlos, what you think? You guys see my answer? Can you see what I wrote?
Yeah.
Okay, Carlos, can you read what I wrote? Starting with Latimer,
Designing a bulb
starting with
that
Latimer improved. Start at the beginning of the sentence.
Latimer improved the light bulb that Edison created by designing a bulb that stayed lit for months.
Okay, is that something that we read in paragraph 6, Quavion? I can't see you if you shook your head yes. Is it something that we learned? Yeah, right? It says Latimer, the light bulb stayed lit for months, okay? So that's a detail that helps us support that he designed a bulb that stayed lit or stayed, lit longer. All right, we're gonna move on to the next activity, identifying main idea and details. Carlos, can you read the intro for this activity, please?
What made Edison light bulb better than other electric lights? Use the text detail in your response.
Okay, so we're gonna remember those clues that we learned about at the beginning of class. So first, we're gonna revisit the text to find details that support the main idea that Edison's light bulb was better than other electric lights. So if we go back to the text, paragraph 2, right? Paragraph 2, we read that electric lights lit up for only a few minutes. And I remember Aileen mentioning that earlier, right? In paragraph 4, down here, we learned that Edison's bulb stayed lit for 13.5 hours. That's much longer than a few minutes, right? So this is one way that Edison's light bulb was better than other electric lights. What is another way that his light bulb was better? So it stayed lit longer, but why else was it better? Quavion, can you tell me how else was Edison's light bulb, how was it better? We know that it stayed lit for 13.5 hours, more than just a few minutes with the other inventions. But what else? I want you to
It
look.
only costs 25 cents.
Yes, it was cheaper. It was cheaper. His was cheaper. So in this area here, you guys have a text box. We're going to write Edison's light bulb was better than other electric lights because it was, can someone restate? Good. Well, those other lights that was before they made the electric lights, Aileen. But yes, before they started using electricity, they were dangerous. So what am I going to write here? Edison's light bulb was better than other electric lights because it was
Cheaper.
cheaper, and what else? It stayed lit for how long? Carlos, you remember? How long did Edison's light bulb stay lit? Look at paragraph 4.
Months.
No, that was Lewis Latimer's. We're talking about Thomas Edison.
Oh no, his was stayed up for a couple hours.
Do you remember how many? Look at paragraph 4.
13.5.
Yep, so that's what we're gonna write here. Okay, so cheaper, and it stayed lit for 13.5 hours. If I can get to it. Thumbs up when you guys have that activity filled out. All right. I want you guys to spend the rest of the class period on student application. Just get some time in real quick. So go ahead and pull that up. We're going to do our wrap up for today. I want you guys to think about what is one thing you read today that you would like to learn more about. So we talked about 2 inventors. What is one thing that you would like to learn more about? You can write it over the chat or you can say it on the mic. So as you can either think about our main idea mini lesson, what lesson 1.3, or what you did over on student application. So what is one thing you want to learn more about? Okay, is that are you talking about that in your on student application, Aileen? Oh, okay, just in general. Okay. All right, so just some, like I said, some things to look forward to this week. Friday will be a quick write assignment. I won't be here, so you guys will definitely have to do that. And I'll probably have one more thing for you to do. Wednesday, we'll do independent reading, so we can get caught up on that. Do you guys have any questions about anything? All right, well, good work today.